Mia Celia, Jeff, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a tough act to follow Jeff Barry. One, because he speaks so well, but the second one is he owns 40% of Sport Wellington, in a sense that they provide Sport Wellington with a whole lot of money. So I feel like I need to perform to the very highest level up here today so that Jeff will continue with his investment from Sport New Zealand through to Sport Wellington, which the good news story about that is clearly it flows into this particular program in part, but into community sport inside Wellington in general. I spoke last year at this program and I walked away and gave myself a bit of a ticking off actually. I stood here last year and I spoke to the officials and I spoke to the administrators and I spoke to the bureaucrats. And I said to myself, I lost a golden opportunity. And I lost the golden opportunity to do very much what Jeff did, I think, and that is connect with you, the young athletes, and perhaps provide a little bit of advice around a couple of areas for your future. I'm a little bit like Jeff as well, a little bit grey-haired, thinning out is probably the best description I could possibly give it. But don't underestimate Jeff either. He is a very competitive swimmer and not bad on the bike either, so he's still up there. I follow in his path, and that's about it. I want to share a story actually of an athlete who's part of your program. And this athlete who's part of your program, his sport is canoe racing. Now I'm just going to call him Dougie. Some of you will recognise the name, but I'm going to call him Dougie. And I think Dougie is a great example of somebody who, with the right dedication, with the persistence that's needed, and the hard work that's required, can really go on and reach your full potential. And in this case, in the story I'm going to tell you, you'll start to see how Dougie, through the application of those characteristics, is going on to do that literally as we speak. At 16 years of age, he was recognised as a real talent in his particular sport. He was selected to go to the Australian Youth Olympics and the New Zealand junior team. So things were looking pretty good at 16. Made a New Zealand team in that top echelon for his age group in his chosen sport. And indeed the event itself became a real source of motivation for Dougie, in a sense that he'd got a taste of what this high performance and top event sport was all about. And that really became his motivation. Dougie wanted to be an Olympian. And that's a goal I'm sure that he still has inside him. But over the next 2 years after he'd been picked in that under-16 team, things didn't necessarily go as planned. He was making development teams, but that's all he was making. He wasn't making the teams that would go away and represent New Zealand at the World Champs. During all of this, he had to leave his family home in Havelock North, and he had to move to Wellington. And he did that in the main to continue, or to start indeed, his tertiary study at Vic University. However, in the sporting sense, things got a little bit worse for Dougie after he'd moved into that Wellington environment and transitioned into the under-23 environment in his chosen sport. He found that he was no longer being considered for development programs, and the support that he was now receiving as an athlete was almost zero. Through all of this, he continued to train hard, but in parallel with that, he continued his study at university. During the holidays, he'd find casual work in an area somewhere in this country that would enable him to train alongside what he considered to be, or people had advised him was a strong canoe squad, training squad. And he took every opportunity when he was out there working during those holiday periods to learn and experience all he could through his engagement with that particular squad. At the end of this period, he had a choice. And his choice was to stay in a sport where he wasn't gaining the achievements that he had set for himself. He was doing exceptionally well at university, and indeed what beckoned for Dougie was not a career or success as a canoeist, but it was actually a professional career post his university study. He decided to continue though with his dream of wanting to be an Olympian. Well, where's Dougie now? Dougie's representing New Zealand under-23 canoe team at the World Champs in Hungary, as you heard at the start of the evening. He's got a support group behind him. He's got a double degree from Vic University, and Dougie's a member of this talent development program. So the message here from me to all of you is congratulations. You do inspire members of our community, your friends, and those who you play alongside in your various sports. But nothing comes easy. So my message to you all is remain dedicated, and if anything, turn it up a little bit. Remain committed, and definitely turn that up a little bit. And as I heard from Stephen Adams this time last week, and from Kenny McFadden, who's had a huge influence on young Stephen, there is no substitute, absolutely no substitute for hard work. So my congratulations to you all from Sport Wellington. My thanks to Wellington City Council. My thanks to Sport NZ for their investment. And good luck to you all. And I look forward to being able to use your story as I've used Dougie's this afternoon. Thank you.